from an Aston Villa perspective, and we have a lot of Villa fans watching this channel, I haven't got Miles here at the minute to kind of chip in, but I'm sure he'll be frustrated at the nature of Villa losing that 2-0 lead, because they could have killed the game off, couldn't they, in some ways? But the complacency seemed to let Brentford back in. I mean, is that a concern for Villa, do you think, chasing top four? They've got a tough run in.
I think it's a concern defensively. What is clear is obviously the amount of injuries that they've had. It can't do the defenders in there who've had to play so many minutes any good in terms of, or let's be honest, there's been a lot of games particularly over the last month, a lot of midweek games for them, a lot of European games as well. So I think it's taken its toll, and I think what's surprising is probably in the manner of the way that they conceded 3 goals so quickly. It was such a shock, really, because the mentality that this team has shown throughout the season is they've been able to respond, and they've not been a team that have conceded easy goals, and I think that's the thing for me, is that they were just avoidable, particularly the third goal, the Wissa one. I don't understand how the cross manages to get in the box that easily. It should be cut out. I think Conser probably should do a little bit better there. But to be fair, obviously they came back, they scored the equaliser. That could be a vital point at the end of the season. And on the back of the rest of the results this weekend, it's probably not going to be. It's not going to be a massive couple of points dropped, but
true.
They've had the opportunity, Villa, to really kind of, drive home their advantage over Man United. Man United have dropped 7 points, from winning positions in the last 3 games, and Villa could really be out of sight, and Spurs and Villa could both be out of sight, and we could not be talking about a top 5, top 4 race. But there's still a chance, and you look at those fixtures as well that are left over. All 3 teams have got to play some tough games, and you'd probably say Spurs have probably got the toughest running. I think they've still got to play Arsenal. I think they've got to play.
Well, Villa have too. They've both got to play Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool at some point. So they'll both have a say in the title race as well, which is
exactly
kind of another layer of
and that's
fascination.
why you look at it, and I think there's an 11-point gap now between Spurs and United. But you look at that running, and you look at some of the fixtures they got. If United can put a string of results together, if Villa can put a string of results together, completely turn it around. So
you're
it's
talking about United like they're in the conversation there, Dave. We'll talk about them in a bit, but the gap's too great for United, surely. But I think this is, for me, a 2-horse race for 4th place. I mean, the saying you're in 4th in the Premier League is one of them things that we've always talked about as like a goal, the top 4. And whatever happens with the coefficient situation, I still think top 4 is the goal for both teams, both Spurs and for Villa, isn't it? And that's why, for me, it feels like a real missed opportunity for Villa this season to have done so much better. Miles has been quite clear about how many games they should have picked up points in or won the game when they've drawn it. This is one of those games, and it's really frustrating, I think, for Villa fans to see defensive lapses from reliable players like Pau Torres and Diogo Carlos, who should have known better and should have not left so many gaping gaps behind them. Having said that, I thought Brentford did well with Mbeumo, especially exploiting the space that he was gifted. And Wissa, like you said, did everything he had to do to kind of score that 3rd goal. But once again, it was Ollie Watkins to the rescue, it felt like. And his comments at the end of the game saying that Villa didn't show a big game mentality or a big team mentality, wasn't it, to sort of kill the game off at 2-0 and make it 3. Is that a fair comment, do you think? Is that where they're at the minute?
In ways, I think Villa fans will be hoping it's a rallying call. And I think they'll want a response from the team, because that is a worry for me. Like, you can't be. It seemed like they were cruising 2-0 up, and it was just such a quick turnaround. We were talking, weren't we, at the time? It was 2-0. That's game over. And we've seen them do it this season. They've been very professional in some of the performances that they've played. They've managed to play the game out, and it's been relatively comfortable. But this was nothing of the sort. But we've seen it with this Brentford team over the last few weeks. They've been able to fight it out. Look at the United game, absolutely battered them all game, and then they could have dropped their heads and lost that game 1-0, but they came back and got a really tough, really good equaliser in. But it just shows that there's no easy games in this league, and I just feel like perhaps Villa sort of lost their concentration a little bit in this game.
Yeah,
and it showed. I think it could, like I say, that it could be a really important point at the end of the day.